Hello, I'm Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV. Today I'm going to be discussing things that expats they find hard to adjust here in the Philippines, especially for people that haven't traveled outside of their home country. Like, let's say you're coming from the United States and you've never traveled outside the United States. The Philippines can be quite a culture shock when you get here. What I've seen is military veterans, we have a better chance of adjusting faster here in the Philippines because we've been outside the United States, and being in the military, we've been assigned to other countries and also have deployed to other countries. So the military veterans, they seem to have an easier time adjusting to life here in the Philippines. One of the things that I've seen with expats having a hard time here in the Philippines is the food. A lot of people are just not used to Filipino food because like in the United States, Filipino food is not as popular like, let's say, Mexican or Thai or even Vietnamese food. So a lot of Americans that come here to the Philippines, they're not familiar with a lot of Filipino foods. So that could be a big adjustment when they get here. Like, some will know the typical, the lumpia, the fried lumpia, the little egg rolls, and the pancit, the noodles. They might know chicken adobo, but a lot of times that's about all they know as far as Filipino food. So when they get here, they really have a hard time adjusting to eating the food here. Like, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine was here in the Philippines last year until about he was here for about 4 to 5 months. He had landed here in Iloilo City. He came to Calibo, and Dazzle and I picked him up, and then he lived in Boracay even for I think two months or so. And then after here in Boracay, he tried out Cebu. Eventually he decided it wasn't for him. The Philippines wasn't for him. So now he's in Thailand, and he's much happier in Thailand. I can see from his pictures because the food he has found not only cheaper, but a lot more fresh vegetables, a lot more salad. That's one thing here in the Philippines. Like even for me, I was a salad eater. I love salad when I was in the United States, and now here I pretty much have to make my own salad. And the selection as far as even making your own salad here, you're really very limited, because even the lettuce, it's like it's hard to find even here in the province. They're becoming more available now, so it's becoming easier. But like, let's say you want to eat a salad at a restaurant, hard to find. Like even here in Calibo, when I look for a place that serves fresh salad, you just don't find it. And if you do find it, it is kind of pricey. A lot of times it's more than the entree. Like it would surprise you. Like you would order like a chicken and rice would be half the cost of a garden salad, and you just wouldn't think that, because you would think salad, like in the US, salad's just a side dish, like an appetizer. So it's surprising that it would be more than the price of entree. If you're living in a place like Manila and Cebu, then you wouldn't have a problem. There's a lot more, probably easier for you to find a good salad. Another thing, I know Americans just love their steak. I have friends in the US that they practically eat steak almost every week. They're like a steak and potato. They love their steak and potato, especially when I was stationed in Texas, when I was in San Antonio. I had friends that, like, you see in their freezer, they're like loading up on steaks. It seems like that's like their favorite meal. And here in the Philippines, unless you really live in again, like Manila or Cebu, like if you live here in the province, you just don't have it. You just don't have steaks. You might be able to get like in Iloilo City at SNR, they have like frozen steaks that come from, I think they come from Australia, but you pay the price for it. It's not cheap. You know, it's not cheap to eat steak. Like me, for me, I think the last time I ate steak was at least 8 years ago with my best friend from Hawaii and my other good friend Albert. When we ate steaks in Boracay, we found this restaurant that serves steaks in Boracay. At the time it was Cowboy Cuisine, and we ate steaks. And that's the last time I've eaten steak. And I ate steak when I was in the United States, but it's just something that, you know, I know it's not common here in our province of Baclan, so it's something that I just gave up. You know, it's like, it's not a big deal because I eat Filipino food. So to me, it kind of balances it out. There's a lot of food, American food, that I don't get to eat anymore. But then again, there's a lot of Filipino food that I like, that I get to eat now, that when I was in the United States, it was hard for me to find. Like for me, it's not a big deal that I don't get to eat good steaks anymore. I don't think, I've never even heard a steak restaurant here in Calibo. So not a big deal because again, you know, it's like I eat Filipino food. You know, Dazzle, that's what she cooks, and I've just adjusted. You know, it's like there's a lot of things that I do miss about when I was in the US. There's a lot of food that I miss, but it balances it out because there's a lot of food now, that Filipino food, that I get to eat. But I do understand for expats. Like I know another friend of mine, you know, it's like he's here trying the Philippines out for, he's been here I think 8 months now. He's from Houston, Texas. So he's trying it out, and he misses, I know he misses a lot of, he's from Texas, so he misses real barbecue, Texas barbecue. The barbecue here in the Philippines, they don't really cook it in, like, they don't smoke it, or that long process of Texas barbecue that makes it really delicious. Here, a lot of times they'll either bake it and then put some barbecue sauce on it, and they'll call that barbecue ribs or something. But then again, you know, that's kind of like the way it goes when you move here or when you come here. You know, you're going to another country, so you can't really expect to have all the things that you had at your home country. A lot of people select, like I know a lot of people go to BGC in Manila, and BGC is really developed. You know, it's almost kind of like living in Los Angeles. You know, it's the same. You know, it's like it's a nice city. It's got all the American food, everything, steaks, you name it. They have it there, but it's pricey. You know, not many can afford to live in BGC. Like I know I can afford to live there and retire there. That's why. But a lot of people live there and use it like as a home base. Yeah, if you can afford it, you know, that's the best deal, because you still get the things that you have in the United States, but you're also in the Philippines, which it's still cheaper. It'll still be cheaper to live in BGC rather than in Los Angeles or San Francisco. And then you use it as a jumping point, so you can go to Palawan, you go to Cebu, Bicol, you know, just tour the Philippines. So I know a lot of people do that. Another place that a lot of expats go besides BGC is Dumaguete City, because Dumaguete City really caters to expats. So if food is an issue, Dumaguete City is another good choice, because they have a good food scene as far as Western food. So if you're an expat coming here on a budget, like I did when I came here, you might struggle with the food here, adjusting to the food. It's best if you could start eating more of the local food, the Filipino food. It'll save you on money, but it's like not all can do that, and I understand that. It's like you're gonna end up missing a lot of food that you used to eat in your home country. Another thing that expats have a hard time of adjusting here in the Philippines is the driving. Not as bad here in the province, because here in the province we don't have the traffic that's in Manila or in Cebu. But still, even here in the province, I have an expat friend of mine here. He doesn't really like to drive here, so he lets his wife drive him around, which is, hey, that's a good solution. If you can teach your spouse or your girlfriend to drive, let them drive. That way you don't have to deal with the stress. Because here in the province, there's a lot of, especially people on motorbikes, they just don't follow the rules. It's almost like a free-for-all. A friend of mine, just a couple of months ago, he came here to the Philippines. He's trying it out. He's gone to a couple of places already, and he just told me the other day, unfortunately, he got into a motorbike accident. So I hope you heal up, brother. I hope everything's okay. And that's the thing when you come here. A lot of times, you go to like the resort towns, like in Panglao, in Bohol. You go to Surigao, you go to these places, and they have these rentals. They have these scooters that you can rent for, $6-7 a day. So it's tempting, very tempting to ride these scooters because they're automatic. You don't have to know how to do the clutch on a motorbike, and you just see so many of them on the road. So it's very tempting for you to like try it out. But if you haven't been on a motorbike, or you don't have a lot of experience riding motorbikes, I would not recommend it, because like even in those resort towns, it can become dangerous for you. When you go to those resort towns, a lot of times you see a lot of motorbikes, a lot of scooters, but just keep in mind, they're having a good time at those resort towns. A lot of times alcohol is involved, so just stay safe. Know that happens. There's a lot of accidents that happen here with motorbikes, and even the tricycles at night, because again, it's like because of alcohol. Another thing that expats have a hard time adjusting here in the Philippines is the noise. Especially in the cities, here in the province, not so much as far as the noise, but there still is. Like here in our community, we live in a gated community, so it's pretty peaceful and quiet. But the minute you live in an area where it's not a gated subdivision or a gated sub-community, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of noise. And I'm talking, this noise can be all the way up to midnight, early in the morning. It's just loud. There's a lot of the motorbikes here, the tricycles, they have a tendency of being loud. I don't know as far as how they're not controlling as far as the noise on the motorbikes or the tricycles adds to the noise. You also have a lot of barking dogs, because there's a lot of stray dogs here in the Philippines. Here in the province, it's just unavoidable. You're gonna see stray dogs everywhere, pretty much. And then you have roosters. I know a lot of expats really don't like roosters. I get a lot of comments on our videos. Don't forget about the roosters. And it's okay. Like I had another viewer that mentioned to me, roosters is just part of the Filipino way. It's like, and I understand that. In the province, in like rural setting, in a country setting, I understand. Rooster is just part of life. But I think a lot of the expats, they get upset as far as the roosters when the roosters are in the more residential areas. Like here in Camellia, where we live in our community, roosters aren't allowed because they make a lot of noise, you know, early in the morning, you know, can wake a lot of people up. And that's why I see that when I go to Calibo, Dazzle and I, we went to our dentist the other day, and just even in our dentist sitting in a dinner chair, the house next door to our dentist must have had at least a dozen roosters. So they're just making noise. I mean, you can hardly hear. We can, you know, when the dentist was like talking to me, I could hardly hear her because of all the roosters that were making a lot of noise. And that's a residential area. That's a business area. A lot of homes. So, and a lot of people keep roosters. So that just I know a lot of expats, they get annoyed by all the rooster noise here in the Philippines. Another thing that expats have a hard time adjusting here in the Philippines is waiting and standing in line. Here in the Philippines, like me, I've been here now 12 years, you know, going on 13 here in a couple of months, and I just understand that waiting and standing in line here in the Philippines is just a part of life. You know, it's just the way it is. I chose to live here in the Philippines, so I understand that. But a lot of expats, I know they have a hard time adjusting to that. I mean, when you come here, you're gonna stand in line at the ATM to get cash from your bank. You're gonna stand in line at a fast food place like Jollibee. Standing in line here in the Philippines is just a way of life. You know, I've just gotten used to it. When I first got here, it was frustrating for me to anywhere you go, it seems like you have to stand in line. But you know, I've been here so many years now. It's just a part of life. It is what it is, you know. I choose to live here in the Philippines, so I have to accept that that's just the way of life here in the Philippines, that you have to stand a long time in a lot of lines here. The last thing I want to mention as far as expats having a hard time adjusting here is the beggars, especially the children beggars. And that's even hard for Dazzle and I. You know, a lot of times Dazzle and I, we just give them food, you know, when we see them. You know, if we're carrying food around, if we're shopping, or if we're in the car and we have some cookies or whatever, we just hand them food. It's one of those things that's real unfortunate, but there's just beggars, especially in the Manila area, Cebu, even in Iloilo City, when Dazzle and I are Iloilo City, it's just one of those things where you can't avoid. You know, it's like you'll see it and it breaks your heart. You know, that's why I know it's hard to see. You know, I know in expats, I know when they see that, it's just something that you're not used to. You know, it's like you'll never see that in the United States, like a little kid or a child begging for money. I know there's more as far as things that expats find difficult, hard to adjust here in the Philippines. If you have more that you can add, please add it in the comments. I'm sure others will appreciate it, especially the ones that haven't been here to the Philippines. I know it's nice to know these things. I just want to give a quick shout out to my good friend Rick. I met Rick about a couple of weeks ago here in Calibo. I met up with him. He's a fellow Air Force retiree as I am. Right now he's in with his wife. I think they're in Cebu right now, just vacationing, just touring the Philippines. I'm sure that he'll be back for Ati-Atihan in January. So Rick, I'll see you at Ati-Atihan, and thank you for the shirt. He had gotten 2 shirts for Dazzle and I, and he thought that this shirt wouldn't fit me, so he thought it would end up just for Dazzle, but it fits me, so I'll wear it with pride. Thanks for the shirt, Rick. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in our next video.